This video is going to show you how to sew a princess seam. This is a dress with a princess seam in it. You can see it's got a seam right there, and it's to fit the bust area, so that's an example of a princess seam. They are a little bit difficult to sew. You're going to be using these two pieces from your patterns, and you're going to use the bigger piece first, and I'm going to sew a 5/8 inch seam on this by itself following this line. There is a marking on the piece if you want to use a tracing wheel and tracing paper, or you can just follow the 5/8 inch seam line. Curve. Don't have to back stitch that. This one does have directions, the curved princess seam. So what I just did was I stay stitched the inside or concave curve, and I'm getting ready to clip the seam allowance in the curved area. So in this curved area, I'm going to clip it with scissors. You want to make sure that you don't cut past your seam. Okay, that should be enough. You don't have to clip anywhere except where it's curved. All right, now this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to pin, like it goes like this. So that would be center front of your shirt, and this would be the armhole. But you can see it doesn't match. So what I'm gonna have to do, I have to pin it really well. That's why I had to clip the curve. So I'm gonna start at the bottom because that part is easy to pin. On this one, the pinning is just as important as the sewing. Okay, and I have to spread out these clips. That's why it's nice that I have the notches. I can line up my notches. Sorry, this part takes a while to pin. Okay, so that was step one. Now it says pin and stitch the two edges together with the clipped curve on top. So I'm gonna have this on top of my machine. I'm gonna back stitch here. Now, this, you want to make sure the part that you're sewing does not bunch. So it bunches here, but when I sew, it should not, the seam should not be bunchy. Okay, that's step two. Then it tells you to finish the seam allowance. If you're at school, you could use a serger, but since you're at home, we're gonna zigzag it. So I'm gonna zigzag these together. And you can trim past your zigzags to make it nice and neat. Step four is to press the curved area using a pressing ham towards center front. A pressing ham is what we use to press the darts. It was one of your vocab terms. You probably don't have one at home. I don't have one at home either. But you can see, got a tiny bunch, that this is like, it's a half scale, but that would be your shirt. You press this towards center front. So if this is center front, I'm pressing it that way. A pressing hand just helps you press curves, but we're going to do the best we can without it. And that is a curved princess seam.